Okay, we're going to do our notes today are just over solving systems. It's real world. In both those cases, we're going to use substitution and elimination, which is going to help prep you for your quiz today. Then you've got your classwork. Because where we're going to land your classwork may become your homework, which more than likely will be the case. I don't have a separate homework for you because I felt like you'd probably be finishing up the quiz close to the end, so that classwork will probably be your homework. Then you got another quiz coming up Friday. Friday's quiz will be over parallel and perpendicular. We've talked about it a little bit, but now we actually have to cover some ground on it next class. So looking at this page, you got Wash Tub and Car Works. You got two companies where you can go get your car cleaned. It's up to you which one you go to. Let's go based on they offer the same great service, so then it's just all about the money. They gave you some information. We've been writing standard form equations. That does not mean that every single equation you are given from here on out will be standard form. You always need to look for what information are they providing you with. So looking at this, there's a $20 membership fee, and there's a $10 per wash fee. Is that slope-intercept form or is that standard form? They gave you a slope, per, each. All those are key words. So for this equation, I got y equals what?
10W.
10W would be fine. I'm just going to put 10x. And then no matter what, you got to pay 20 bucks. You can drive around with a whole pile of dirt on your car and never go take it to that place to get it clean, and you're still paying 20 bucks. What about Car Works?
Y equals 5x plus 6.
$5 each time you take it in for a cleaning, and no matter what, you'll pay 60 bucks. That's pretty steep. So looking at this, which one of these do you think is the first one, Wash Tub? A. It's got a y-intercept of 20. What's the y-intercept for that one? There you go. So process of elimination, B must be Car Works. What's the transformation up from A to get to B?
40.
Yeah. If I were to talk about the graph, it shifted up 40, and then did it get steeper or flatter?
Steeper.
This one to this one. Okay, just review a little our transformation stuff. Where does it intersect?
700.
I don't think so.
8,100.
8,100. So what does it mean?
Eight cars wash. They will have the same amount of money. 8 number of car washes. 8 car washes. They both will be charged $100.
So 8 car washes cost $100 at both. Which company is the better choice for someone who washes his or her car once a month? Who thinks Wash Tub? A.
Wait, no. I think it's.
Who thinks Car Works?
Okay.
Okay, so if I wash my car once a month, that means I do it 12 times in a year. Would it be cheaper?
Yes.
Yes, so I would go with Car Works if they offer the same service and my car comes out looking great every time, right? At what point, who would be the better price at 4 car washes? Wash Tub. What about at 6?
Wash Tub.
What about at 9?
Wash Tub.
No, wait.
Oh, wait.
Car Works. Right after they cross that intersection is when Car Works becomes the better price, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. So let's take a look at the Peanuts movie. The first one, notice we had point slope form, okay? This one's going to be standard form, and you can tell the difference because you start getting more numbers when you have to write in standard form. A theater sold adult tickets and children tickets to the premiere showing of the Peanuts movie. The tickets were priced $8 for adults, $4 for children. If they sold 80 tickets and collected $400, how many of the tickets sold were adult and how many were children? Start off by just deciding, do we have any answers? That's kind of always... Now, that being said, they did define the variables for you. That was really nice, right? Number of children's tickets. I would have added number of children's tickets, number of adult tickets. That being said, though, are there any answers up there? So, $400 in tickets. What about the other one? Because we got to write two equations, so there's two answers up there. 80 total tickets? So if we can figure out that information, then maybe we can figure out what to put on the left side of those equations. So which one do you want to go with first? $400. So this one involves money, which means I have to involve the $8 and the $4. So how would we write that? It's $4 per child ticket plus $8 per adult ticket. Now, the other thing I'd probably do differently if I had done this by myself, I would have let the children's tickets be a C, I would have let the adult tickets be an A. Because that would be a whole lot easier for me to keep up with instead of having to look back, wait, which is X, which is Y. What about equation 2? Is there any money involved? Then I shouldn't be involving any money.
X plus Y equals
X plus Y, number of children, number of adults. So just X plus Y. Notice, one is involving money, one is not involving money. So now we have to, left my lines out from earlier. Now we have to solve. Is this set up for substitution or elimination? Substitution, people. Tell me what variable is all by itself. I have 4x plus y, 8y, and I got x plus y. So it's set up for elimination, right? There's not one variable that is all by itself. So looking at that, you're going to try to find, when you eliminate, if I combined all my x's right now, how many would I have? Let's do it that way. 5. If I combined all my y's? 9. Neither one of those gave me 0, which means we have to do a little work, right? I need the numbers to be the same and the signs to be opposite. One's got to be positive and one's got to be negative if we're going to somehow end up at 0. So what do you think? Do you want to get rid of the x's or the y's? X's. Okay, so what number are we going to make the same?
4.
So you want 4x, which means I'm going to have negative 4x to get 0, correct? The top one is already 4x. So I can just write it as is. Do you agree? The bottom one is not. So what do I multiply by?
Negative 4.
So take that bottom one, and if you multiplied it by negative 4, we'd get negative 4x. Does this equal 0x? Does everybody see why we picked that number to multiply by?
Yes.
Then we got to remember to multiply all of it. So I get negative 4y equals negative 320. Did I do it right? I wrote that entirely too big because now I don't have any space to do all the rest. That's going to give me what? 4y equals 80. So what does y equal? 20. This is that moment when you think you're done, but you're really not. So now what? You have to plug it into one of your original equations. Which one do you want to plug it into?
Equation 1.
Y'all want to plug it into the top one?
Oh wait, no.
I'm going to plug it into the bottom one. If you want to plug it in the top one, you go ahead. But the bottom one is just x plus 20 equals 80. And that's a whole lot easier to me. That'll give me x equals what? 60. So I have a point at 60, 20. Being real careful to put them in the right order. So if I graph these two, that means my solution is sitting right here. Let's see if we can remember how to graph. I'm going to do my top equation in blue. Standard form, so I use the hand. 4x equals 400. So what does x equal? 100. Very good. Eight x equals 400. So y equals 8y equals 400. So y equals 50. This one I'm going to put in between, halfway in between. Carefully draw your line. I'm going to do my second one in red. This one's the easy one, right? If I use the hand, x equals, oh yeah, gotta like that. No extra work at all. Y equals, yep, that's great. Makes it nice and easy. So then, once again, draw your line carefully. On your quiz today, one of your questions tells you to graph it to find the answer. I have everybody doing a whole bunch of algebra, and that's fine, but I'm only grading the graph, and I have people skipping the graph. So make sure you do the graph, because I'm not going to pay any attention to the algebra that I didn't ask for. So what's our answer again?
60.
Did it match up on our graph?
Yes.
What does it mean? More information. There's 60 children and 20 adults, which equals $400 and 80 tickets. That's all the information, right? There's 60 children and 20 adult. Just coming up with my own stuff here. 20 adult tickets for $400 and 80 tickets. We're not going to plug them into the calculator. We'll learn how to do that at another date. Alright, she's having a little bit of a difficult time here.
Is that supposed to be 9?
This is supposed to go here. Oh, good. Looky there. That goes right there. You can just draw an arrow. Just draw an arrow. That's what I was going to do, but you know. We're supposed to check it in that box. So we actually need to do what it says, kind of like I was just telling you to make sure to graph on your quiz. I'm just writing answers wherever. They want us to check our solution. Which one are we going to check it with?
The bottom one.
We can't check it with the bottom one because we just used the bottom one.
And the top one.
Then you have to use the other, right? If we check it with the bottom one, it's going to work. So we want to actually check it with the top one. So it'd be 4 parentheses plus 8 parentheses equals 400. Do you know how come I have y'all write it like that? I model it for you that way every single time.
You're setting us up for success.
I am. I love that you happen to know that. Because if you start trying to plug in while you write the equation, bad things just tend to happen. So just take the time to write it and then plug it in. What's 4 times 60?
240.
What's 8 times 20? 160. What's 240 plus 160? So our answer is correct? So by now we've solved it algebraically, we've checked it algebraically, and we've checked it on a graph and solved it on a graph, so we've got it, right? Yes. Good with that?
Yeah.
First one's substitution, second one's elimination. We got all this stuff down?
Yeah.
Okay, so you have a little bit of a warm